Welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into the dark waters of the human psyche. Today's topic is one that is both chilling and fascinating: becoming a narcissist after surviving narcissistic abuse. Many of us have heard of the term narcissist, but what happens when the victim becomes the abuser? Let's explore this twisted journey together. The roots of narcissism. Narcissism is a personality disorder characterized by a grandiose sense of self-importance, the need for constant admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. But how does one go from being a victim of narcissistic abuse to embodying these toxic traits themselves? It all begins with the insidious cycle of abuse. Victims of narcissistic abuse are often manipulated, gaslit, and emotionally drained by their abusers. In order to survive, they learn to adapt to their abuser's tactics, internalizing the belief that their worth is dependent on the approval of others. This seeds the dangerous idea that in order to protect themselves, they must become the ones wielding power and control over others. The transformation. As victims of narcissistic abuse begin to heal, they may find themselves grappling with conflicting emotions. On one hand, they may despise the abuse they endured and vow to never become like their abuser. But on the other hand, they may find themselves mirroring the same toxic behaviors they once despised. The transformation from victim to narcissist is a gradual process, marked by a loss of empathy, a sense of entitlement, and a hunger for validation. The victim, once wounded and vulnerable, becomes hardened and unfeeling, using manipulation and deceit to protect themselves from further harm. The warning signs. There are a few warning signs that a victim of narcissistic abuse is on the path to becoming a narcissist themselves. One of the most telling signs is a lack of remorse for their actions, a trait commonly seen in narcissists who are incapable of feeling empathy for others. Another warning sign is an inflated sense of self-importance, where the victim begins to believe that they are superior to those around them. This delusion of grandeur is a defense mechanism to cover up their deep-seated insecurities and self-doubt. The cycle of abuse. The cycle of abuse is a vicious circle that perpetuates the toxic behaviors of narcissism. As the victim-turned abuser continues to harm those around them, they may justify their actions by blaming their victims or minimizing the impact of their behavior. The victim-turned-abuser may also seek out new victims to feed their insatiable need for validation and control. This pattern of seeking out vulnerable individuals to manipulate and exploit is a hallmark of narcissistic behavior. The impact. The impact of becoming a narcissist after surviving narcissistic abuse is devastating, not only for the individual but for those around them. The victim-turned-abuser may alienate friends and family members, burning bridges with those who once cared for them. Their relationships become shallow and transactional, based on what others can do for them, rather than genuine connection and empathy. This leads to a profound sense of isolation and loneliness, as the narcissist struggles to find true fulfillment in their superficial relationships. The road to recovery. Breaking free from the cycle of narcissism is a difficult and arduous journey, but it is possible with dedication and self-reflection. The first step towards recovery is acknowledging and taking responsibility for their toxic behaviors, rather than deflecting blame onto others. Therapy and counseling can be invaluable tools in helping the victim-turned-abuser unpack their trauma, confront their insecurities, and learn healthier coping mechanisms. Surrounding themselves with supportive and understanding individuals can also aid in the process of healing and self-discovery. In conclusion, the journey from victim to abuser is a harrowing one, marked by pain, manipulation, and isolation. But it is not an irreversible path. With courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to change, the victim-turned-abuser can break free from the chains of narcissism and heal from the wounds of their past. Thank you for joining us on this dark and twisted exploration of the human psyche. Remember, empathy and compassion are the keys to breaking free from the toxic cycle of narcissism. Stay safe, stay strong, and never lose sight of your worth. Until next time, stay curious.